What's up, internets? Bailey here. Struggling to find the words for it other than grateful. You'll find this podcast was recorded before we finished our March Madness marathon, so even editing it has been a great trip through memory lane of how I felt going through it and how Raza and Wine Mom felt. It really was an interesting trip. So if you've been around here for a while and you've been enjoying getting to know us, this is a bit more personalized of an episode, loosey-goosey. I want to thank you for sticking around so much, and if you're listening to this in the future, I want to appreciate your attentiveness to go back and get to know more of us. We're here for the long run. I, more than ever, am feeling inspired to keep creating, and I think you're going to hear a genuine excitedness through the episode. I know it's a bit cringe, to be honest, but you know what? I'm gonna be honest about my feelings here. It's my goddamn platform, and I'm not the boss. Either way, we appreciate you guys coming through. Now, we'll throw it back to the episode.
Go ahead, Bailey.
Ramadan. What's up, internets? Welcome to Marching into Madness. Welcome to Same-ish Different Day, the podcast with a name that we can't say anymore.
No.
I've done too many intros through this month, so I'm starting to lose track of which one's which. This week, we wanted to keep it loosey-goosey. This marathon's got us a bit loopy overall, and we decided we were going to kind of keep it chill today. And Raza's theme was the kids are learning about things. So if you've been sticking around for a while, you're watching this on our YouTubes, you're tuning in on the podcast, you'll see that we've been going and making content for an entire month. We've had some ups and downs. I'm definitely pooped. I'm taking a day or two off when we finish it, and I know Raza's heading into the holy month.
Plus, I've been in the holy month, actually.
So, speaking of that, opening question, Raza, as we wind down / finish our marathon, how we doing?
I'm watching The Whale with Brendan Fraser as we're podcasting. We're doing good. Reza is exhausted. Somebody put a gun to his head, and I'm not gonna name any names. Bailey put a gun to my head and said, "Stream every day this week." And I said, "Yes, Massa. Whatever you say, Massa." And then I did it. No, it was fun. I figured out what I can work with and how it makes me feel comfortable. It's just now it's just being consistent about it, because I didn't mind getting up at 8 a.m. 2 Saturdays in a row and playing Diablo for like 3 hours and then getting on with my day. That was kind of fun. Like that's sort of like scheduling where it's not a normal one where you have to do something for an overarching event. Like, okay, I'm doing something today for like the Olympics, and like there's something happening, and then there's going to be a grand thing at the end, the closing ceremonies. Mm-hmm. We should have one.
Have our own Olympics?
Closing ceremony.
Yeah,
I see what Blink-182 is doing.
We're doing our subathon. We could have get Panda there. We could get some music mixed. We can have the F1 music going. So it's like dun 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 dun.
Oh, you're not gonna do that to me.
I've got an Iron Man robe. Maybe I'll wear my bathrobe for stream. I'll be bathrobe baby.
Should I bring my?
If I have to be there, don't do that to me.
That's okay. Raza will too, and it's all right. The sexy will cancel each other out.
I have 2 onesies. Which one do you want me to wear?
The one that shows the most cleavage.
Neither of them do. They're both men's.
Well, then you better figure that out.
Well, then you're gonna have to bring it, and we're gonna have to cut you a low V-neck.
You're not. No, these ones are I'm gonna wear at Comic-Cons now.
Oh my god! So you're gonna be lazy at Comic.
I want to be fucking lazy. Mom. Got a problem with that?
So, Wine Mom, you participated in a little bit. Yeah, you came through for a few of the days, but you've been in the chat. You've been supporting us. You've been putting up with our madness, per se. As we wind down / finish our month, how are you feeling? How are you feeling?
I got deathly ill this month. So I'm just in recovery.
You're just trying to live your life?
I'm just trying to recover, bro.
We
Anyways,
did make
no.
how did you feel about the virtual version of yourself?
I thought it was cute. But I'm just going to say I'm proud of you guys for sticking it out and doing as much streaming as you did. Because I really thought that, like, that you guys were going to be like, let's just, like, take a week off. And you did it. You did it.
There were days on Wine Mom where it was just like
I
Bailey
know.
was saying, like we obviously weren't consistent. There were like what
Yes, you
4 days,
were.
4 or
missed,
5
like,
days.
4
that-
days.
With
Yeah.
unforeseen
Yeah.
circumstance, that was, like, out of your control.
No, and then Raza saved me the one day I fucked up. Raza saved me the day I fucked up.
Yeah, so it got to a point where I said, well, I was thinking we shouldn't, say, oh, let's just do it tomorrow, but let's just fucking do something today, no matter what it is. Let's just start doing, let's just, yeah, like it was to the point where I just wanted to put out something every day. At least we're staying true to what we started out.
Yeah, so
Out
shut
as.
up and let me be proud of you guys. What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
Why are you
no.
trying to discredit
I was
that?
I was trying to say it, but like there were days where I felt like I
You guys
wanted to
committed
take it
to the
off,
bit.
but yeah,
and you did it.
we committed. Yes,
We did.
it's
We did.
exhausting.
We committed to the
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. It's
And
tiring.
that's half. That's. Do you have more to say, Wine Mom, before I babble?
That's half the battle, bro. Is that you committed to the bit. Even if you stream for like an hour every day, and even if you had to take a day off, who gives a fuck? You did it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. No. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Especially if I
think.
don't ever give you guys that.
Yeah. Exactly. So I
Good
appreciate
clapping,
it.
Raza.
I appreciate it.
It's not making you clapping.
Sorry.
That's. No, that's all right. Just when I talk about myself, that's hard because we do have more questions set up here, but overall, I feel similar. It really needed to crack that ice for me in terms of the creative goals of this, and like I kind of, yeah, like I fucked up the one day because I was just too tired. I literally had therapy that morning, and it was like, fuck, man. I took a nap, and then I was like, God damn it, it's 4 o'clock, and I don't want to do this. And then Raza was like, okay, well, I could play Diablo. I was like, oh, fucking thank God. It's
Bailey
like,
is his own biggest hater, bro.
Right.
so the
Yeah.
main thing I like learned, and I don't think it spoils the other questions, but like a light, easy, quick one I could give is like I can't be the everyday type streamer, but because I have that hardworking mechanic in my genes, I could see myself doing like 8 hours, 10-hour streams, but I couldn't be like I'm streaming for 4 hours every fucking day. That was like my main thing coming out of this was like, okay, I like this. I like making the content. We can figure out how to work it. And when we do our March Madness in the future, all right, then I'll do the everyday thing. But okay, I now know that setting up what we're doing, Jesus Christ. You got to give yourself space for the off days.
Yes.
Yeah.
You gotta give yourself some time to rest.
Yeah, and that's what we're gonna. Because I think this week, for a good week, Rosa's gonna be, here.
Yeah, this is the last week, right?
Like next week, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
here in spirit, but I'm gonna be taking it easy because it's just now we're gonna take our foot off the gas for a little bit, and then we just evaluate what we need to do because this was all a testing ground. It was all a staging area to see what works, essentially, and that's we'll go more into that later. But I feel more confident now than where we were.
Well, so then that's a good way. I'll let you flow into that, and you can still give the answer of why. Is like what have we learned about ourselves towards this endeavor?
I have learned that I am the man of I come clutch. That's all I've learned. That's been a speak to me.
I put the team on my back though.
I broke my back one, Mom. I gotta go to the hospital tomorrow
Oh
because
my
of back.
god.
Greg
No,
Jennings. Greg Jennings. Sorry.
but it was I just I learned that there are as Bailey said, I can't do this every day, but I have found my zone, what I would like to do in the streaming space. Now I just gotta figure out how to do it, So I think you can expect me to do more of that, which is ironic because I didn't want to do that in the beginning, but I'm still not gonna do it full time. It's just gonna be a thing there. But yeah, I saw it as a just to expand my creativity or my. I learned more about OBS too, so that's cool.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wine Mom, I know you participated a little bit, but you're still helping out. You're still dealing with the bullshit. Is there anything you
Honestly,
picked up on?
No, honestly, Wine Mom did next to
No.
nothing. But you know what? Listen, don't be a bully, Raza.
No, I'm just making fun of. You're just like, no, I didn't do anything. But like, you actually did stuff. You honestly
No,
did
no,
stuff.
no, no. I did next to nothing. But the thing is, for me, is that I feel like it's very important for you guys to find your existence online. Because here's the thing, I already know my character, I guess, and I've done a lot of media stuff before. Like I had a podcast before that was quite successful. So
Mhm.
it's important for you guys to like find your vibe and like things that you guys can enjoy and do. Cause I'm pretty chill. Like I'll just do whatever we're doing. But you guys need more structure to enjoy what you're doing. So this is a good experiment for you guys to like try a bunch of different things. And one thing in particular is Bailey is really bad with spur of the moment decisions. Like if you throw Bailey off and you're like, you got all plans are canceled, everything is all start from scratch, you got 10 minutes. Bailey will have a breakdown, can't do. But in this situation, it has challenged have moments where like he has to just figure it out and do it. And I feel like that's
Yeah.
good for you. It's been good for you and it's helped you like I feel like you've been more relaxed and chill and like enjoying the streaming versus like stressing about the streaming.
It's now me. I'm the one like, Billy, are we streaming today? Are we streaming today? Are we streaming today?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
would want to know
It's a little
now.
flip.
It has
'Cause,
like
like,
a.
yeah.
So go ahead if you want, Raza. That's okay. I
No,
don't have a
no, it's
big
fine.
one.
Go. No, it's okay. Go.
That was
what you had to say,
partially
Bailey.
to the big changes in my life, like letting go of the nonprofit job. I have people interested in giving me employment options, but some of that is like I want to make sure I prioritize the life avenues I have because then those stresses I have from everything else comes into here and I'm sitting here and then all of a sudden that shifting is a stress and that's not me. That's not what I want. I want this to be the priority and I can handle adaptability, but I've finally earned the accolades where now I don't have to stress about money as much. Like, yeah, it's a problem, but like I ain't balling. I'm barely not broke. But being able to have a bit more security really helped me be able to disperse the stress that I had towards making things work on any certain given pace. And it was a big maturity move, and I appreciate y'all's patience for me as I was navigating that growth.
Well, but I feel like ultimately this was because you tried to do this last year, something very similar to this, and it didn't work out very well, and there's a lot of confusion, and it was kind of all over the place. But this year, even with some of the like road, it's still been cohesive and still like made its way to work with your life schedule still happening. And like honestly, like yes, I know Raza did a lot too, but like Bailey really like just went for this and like carried it. You
Yeah.
know, like streamed alone a lot.
Yeah, well, and then that was I'll lead into mine, but first I gotta Raza saved my ass when I was on off days. He kind of came
Yeah.
in and did big shit. This man was sitting here, I'll expose our business. He didn't want to stream it all. And then he just picked up all this shit. He learned it in like a week. Fam, Raza, you learned so much shit quicker than I did. You beat yourself up. You learned everything here quicker than I did. So, bro.
Well, yeah, I just because I was looking at those sort of those things that Bailey would put out every week, and I noticed he's doing a lot of shit. And I was like, well, like I thought, like, why don't I just jump in and do so? Then I
Yeah.
started like, looking. Hey, I'm just gonna start pretend. I'm gonna pretend I'm a streamer for a little bit. So let's just throw me in those days. Let's double up. And it wasn't like yeah, like I did learn, but all the stuff was already there. I just I didn't learn quicker. I just took the shortcut of having Bailey send me the screenshots of his setup, and that's what I just plugged in everything. So it's like it's the groundwork was already set. I just moved in. That's all I
mean, you
did. So
did though.
it's no, but like but I just the thing that I found like that was like something I was nervous about was the streaming thing, and that's the main thing. Like I was able to do that and sort of create my own sort of vibe with it. I just draw inspirations from what I'm doing and who I work with, and I just see if I
Okay.
can inject it into my stuff, and it sort of works. It works, but again, it's all practice for the big show.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's so then in my point is like that's kind of what I learned about myself through the endeavor was like figuring out how to combine all of my endeavors. I was already integrating my eBay store, which is the collectibles, which I do really enjoy, and if these things continue progressing the way it is, it's something that I can do just for fun and just for content. Like I was just realizing that today. Like, my God, that could be awesome because I'm not like starving to hustle all these weird eBay items. I can literally just go look for really cool things and have fun doing it. But
Yeah.
what I was trying to narrow down on was doing the video editing stream, the cooking stream. Like, these are all aspects of my life. I'm trying to go to the gym, so I can't figure out how to balance my diet. So I need to figure out how to prep more food. And I have all of these recipes, and now it's like, oh my God, I can do a big 4-hour stream and prep lunches for a week. And then there you go. There's a stream, and I'm set up for my food venture. Or, oh my God, I'm starting to get offers to film events again from people I used to work with. But I'm doing the
Right.
streaming. Oh my God, I can just stream the videos and I can be myself doing what I do and combine both those aspects now. That was the
Yeah.
big thing I learned about myself through the adventure and feeling comfortable having both those voices. Because, like, if you're listening to this and you don't do any sort of, like, on mic stuff, like something when you're trying to figure out whether you're podcasting or a musician or this is like, yeah, you try to turn the dial up to 11 because you think you have to be entertaining. But
Yes.
really, like, you're good at 8. You're really good at 8.
Yeah.
And that's usually how
Everybody
it is.
wants to be at that 11, and that's the trick, right? That's the thing, because everybody you see looks like they're at 11, but no, everybody, yeah, it's an 8, but they're doing their own thing. They're just
Well,
being themselves.
that's the most important thing about this stream experience. And that's what I was like really hoping for you guys to get out of this is that like when we stream or when we record or do anything, I feel like a lot of you guys are Bailey more so puts on sometimes a little bit of a character. Like I can tell you're like a little bit anxious and nervous about how things are going to be received or presented because you do a lot of background work to like get this rolling. So I can tell that you're like putting on a character, but it's like the best podcasts that we have is times when your character is not in the room. When you have a chance to be like, okay, I get to just like ramble and be myself. And that's why like doing a stream with your mom was really important because that really brought out just your character. Having your old friends from high school around, like that really brought out your character. And just having those moments where it's like, I don't have a script. I don't have like a clear direction of like how this is going to page per page. I just know what I'm doing and where I want to somewhat go. And it gives you the opportunity to, like you said, take it down from an 11 and bring it to an 8 because you have to conserve your energy. You can't play it up for 4 hours because you got to go for 4 hours. Like, you got to take it easy and be gentle with yourself, right? That's the most important part of doing a big project like this, even if it's like 98% successful, which I think it was 100%, but if you feel like it was 90% successful, at least, you know, you've made that step of like learning how to just vibe in the space and just present what you're presenting without it having to be a big dance.
Yeah. Like the one thing I can take away from all this is that we're at the point where if we have a thing we're working with or doing, I feel like now we have a good indication if we can do it or not. Because I'm surprised that we were able to put out it's not all 31 days yet, but it's like the majority of the month we were able to do. And then we only missed a handful of days, but that's life. So that's what I sort of like was impressed by, the fact that we were able to say what we're doing and do it without much issues, like generally.
Well, and there was no script for every day either.
No.
Like there was like, I know Bailey can't help himself. I'm sure he had Google Docs of like pinpoints of things he wanted to do with say or touch.
Yeah,
But for the
on my
most part,
whiteboard.
but for the most part, you kind of had to just figure it
Wing
out.
it. Yeah, we just winged it because those things you posted, Billy, were just outlines. I found we barely followed them, but it gave us a good template, because I like those idea. I like that idea. I even pitched it in the beginning, but now it makes more like in the beginning, like a year or two ago, saying, why don't we just have a
You really
poster?
just need, that's it. You really just need to be like, these are the 4 things I want to make sure I bring up.
Yeah.
The rest of it is all ad lib. The best
Yeah.
result is when it's just ad lib. You're just chilling,
Yeah.
you're talking, no idea. That's like what, because it's like when I think about this, when we get together and I'm like, I don't know what our topic is going to be. I have no idea what we're talking. Literally, just so everybody knows, I am the problem. Okay, I get here. There is a script. There is a whole. These guys, they already know how the podcast is going to go. I show up here and I'm like, I have no idea what's happening. I'm just.
It's in the drive.
It's like, seriously, I'm just like, I'm here. But it's like, with that, like for me personally, I find that, like, I know you guys are going to give me the topics, and like what we're talking about, but then I can just ad lib my response. And I feel like that's when we're the funniest, the best, like, especially because you guys don't know what I'm going to say. Because you guys have an idea, because you guys know what you're. So you guys have an idea of like what each other is going to say. I have no fucking clue. I'm literally like, the lights are on, but nobody's home. I'm just here. And I feel like that gives the best result. Because when you guys are that way, that gives a really good result too. I like it. And you guys aren't prepared. So you guys are just dumb like me. It's fun.
Yeah, like I'm finding that, I don't know, that just the character we have built for ourselves in, like, on accident or indirectly, is sort of makes it like easier to bring out the entertaining side of it all. So just when you're spontaneous, I guess, when that's I feel with the persona that I have indirectly created, I can also deliver. I don't know about you, Bailey, but it's also funny about the scripts. One mom is that I put them in the Discord chat, and she's still
Yep. And I still go, what are we doing? I have no idea. Even when I
right here.
The movie club needs the script. This is the loosey-goosey one. The movie club is the tough one. That takes production.
I don't think so.
Oh my god.
This is why I'm the problem. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
Yeah.
Don't care.
There's always one. That's okay. You can be the ODB to our Wu-Tang clan. It's all right. You're the heart of it, but also the wild one.
Perfect. Make your life hard.
Wu-Tang fucking
I'm on a kick, dog. I'm on a kick.
Goes back to Wu-Tang.
Always. So are we getting closer to perfecting our goal, or are we still
Yeah.
in our own way?
We're in our own
I
way.
feel
100%.
I feel like
100%.
yes, you're in your own way, but I feel like also there's still perfecting things. I think really perfecting is not really the term because nobody's perfect and there is no body of work that's perfect. Well, there is some bodies of work.
Someone has
We'll get
not
into
seen
that.
Deadpool 1 or 2.
I mean, anyways, let's not get into that. But the thing is, like, we're gonna keep growing, but I feel like what has happened is like maximum adaptability is happening now. So it's like we're basically in our groove, but we're also able to adapt to all these things that are going to be coming up as we're doing the podcast and as the times are changing. Like that's what we're learning as far as the climate of being an online creator of any kind. You're never going to be perfect because you're always growing and learning, but being adaptable is important. And like that's a hard skill to get. And like I feel like this month is really giving that to this podcast.
Yeah, I can agree to that because like that's what I felt. Like they were able to not drop the ball completely when things came up. We were able to switch things, and it just showed that Bailey and I are are actually getting weirdly better at communicating with what we want. We
That's
actually
good.
did a lot of talking over the last 4 weeks about
Beautiful.
daily, and it was like, okay, this is weird. This is usually not how it is, but okay, I can get you used to this. But yeah, I think we're getting there slowly now. The the machine is built, the engine is built. Now we just need to get that bad boy started, and then I think we're just gonna. The more ideas that we pump out, the faster, or the more of a portfolio and a catalog we have to show people. And,
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Overall, it's just a weird journey when I think about the overall market and industry. The part that makes me self-conscious sometimes is like always watching the trends change and our approach of variety content being so unique and labor intensive. It is sometimes it does make me self-conscious of like, oh yeah, there's you got an Abba and Preach just taking their YouTube videos and adding literal GTA footage on it and posting it to TikTok and it gets millions of views. It's like, why am I sitting here editing things to have talent? But I'll let you go. Overall, that the way of putting in this effort and what we accomplished through the month made me feel secure in like, no, I'm okay with carving my own path and I just want my own piece of the pie and I think I can do both at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing with online creating. Like, because the thing is, like, we don't just have a podcast. We stream, we play video games, we do movie stuff, we do pop culture and news related things. Like, we're really kind of like doing everything that we want to do, right? So, in a way, like, you can look at the numbers and be like, we're not successful to a certain degree of like what we are seeing. Because Bailey is obsessed with the analytics, constantly talking about like where we're at, what we're gaining, what we're losing, numbers, all that kind of stuff. Which like we're doing a passion project. That stuff is important if we want to continue this long term, of course. However, like in some instances, we have to look at the minor successes of the podcast, right? So it's like streaming as many days as you did is a huge success and should be like very proud of yourself. Filming anything funny, like there has been so many times when you guys are posting clips and I know Bailey is like, I'm posting this and sending it into the abyss for nobody to care. But it's like I'll go back and watch the clips and like they're fucking funny. Like we're funny. Like we're doing something good here. And so for me, I'm able to be like, maybe we don't have this like super easy internet fandom that all these half-ass creators have on the internet, but it's like we're building something of like when we're like 5 years from now and we look back at this, like it's gonna be of quality and we're going to be proud to show our old work because it is of quality, right?
Yeah.
No,
Patience
that's
is key, right? When it comes to this stuff.
well, and I'll let Raza go after, but that's again, we'll preach this. But me and Raza had this talk from the start of we don't want to delete our old stuff because then one day when we make it, then you can see the whole fucking path that we took, and I think that's a good thing for other people.
Yeah. Because you have to struggle, like, in order to generate true success. Because the thing is, like, if this came easy, like, 'cause I know, like, if you guys got the level, even 50% of what you were hoping to get out of this, if you got that within the first year, you would have been actually disappointed, I think. Because then you would have been like, when am I, how do I grow? How do I change? Because for us, like, we're at a place right now where like we could wake up tomorrow and be like, we want to change the entire format. We want to literally change everything. We want to like rework the entire thing. We can fucking do that because we don't have an audience that's demanding us to stay the same or is like needing that structure. Like we can change things and adapt and work on things. And that's part of like creating a project that I think if we had gotten quick success, you would be upset because you'd be like, well, now I got to stick with this thing and I feel stuck in my creative freedom. Whereas like right now, if we stay in this like creative freedom place where even if we gain success or, you know, when we gain success, that we have this style of like creative growth, which is good for us as a group because you don't want to get bored doing something, right?
Yeah, it's good that like the like we didn't get you're right, like how we didn't get big immediately a year into it, and we're able to build and create things that we want to create. So when we get big, it's built on the things that are already there that we have made that we enjoy, and we have an audience that's growing with us too. And that, so if we were to change shit, that audience would also sort of adapt to it too because they're already used to us. So I do agree with that because just and you're right. We would be pigeonholed at that point. If you were big, we'd be like, hey, we have to make Fortnite videos now. That's all we're gonna be.
That's what I'm saying.
I use streamers as the example just because of their lifestyle, but yes, you could get pigeonholed by like creating YouTube videos on just Tarkov or creating YouTube videos on just Gundam Evolution. But I like watch some of these streamers that stream 8 hours a day and like an XQC, like I'm sure it's cool to be that famous, but you can't change from that lifestyle. Like you're stuck. If you're a medium fish, right? If you're not the top dog, then you've got 20,000 followers on a live streaming platform. Yeah, that's you don't have any flexibility.
Yeah, to kids,
people have pigeonholed themselves. They're stuck.
Yeah, like to kids, that lifestyle seems kind of cool. You're playing computer games all day, and you're getting paid millions of dollars to do it. But in reality, even from me streaming from like once or twice a week, I got exhausted from it, and I felt like, okay, this won't be a long-term thing. And then I see a good example of these streamers is doing it. But then you notice the streamers who are not sort of like that, and you look at their content, they have the variety there. They're not just playing Escape for Tarkov. They're doing other stuff. They have cooking stuff going on. They have their own like brand store. They have their own merchandise. They have multiple different creative outlets, and that's something that like I'm sort of like I now understand what Marching the Madness should be. Because in the beginning, I thought my simple mind thought we're just a YouTube channel, because that's what I thought. But now it's like okay, it's Marching the Madness is a name, and here are these arms going out to different and poking different
Well,
sort
that's
of like
see,
avenues.
that's why like after you guys brought me on and I could see you guys were to like find your place. Because when I first started on here, Bailey was like, we just like need to break up the vibe. Because it's just like it's just us two and like it's just too stuck in what it is. So when I came, I was like, all right, so I was like, I gotta just literally be myself. Because here's the thing, like, because I don't even know, because most people don't know me. Like, you guys know me. Raza, you don't really know me that much in person because we met through here, right? But Bailey's known me for a long time. Like, I genuinely just like this is my personality. Like, I just like talk shit. I get angry. Like, I'm a rat. This is me. So when I came to this show, I was like, I can put on a character for sure. It's not hard to do. But I was like, it would be so much better if I'm just myself and I'm just feeding off like my relationship with Bailey to create a place where you guys feel safe to be yourselves, which I feel like is important. Because I feel like I've listened to the podcast before I came. Not to say it was bad, because it wasn't. It was still good. I still enjoyed it. And, Bailey's worked on other projects before. So, I can see there's a vibe there. But once I came in, like I could see how comfortable both of you guys got. Like Raza opened up so quickly into like a different person
I
as soon as
forgot
I started
the
coming around.
first
Bro,
interaction.
I'm telling you, it was like
Yeah.
you were scared of me, but then you got safe with me and you were like, okay, I'm safe. I can be me, which was so
Yeah,
good, right?
Bailey
Yeah.
undersold you or
I know.
oversold you.
I know.
She's gonna be weird,
But
just so you know, Raza.
yeah, But it's like I feel like as far as creativeness goes, like whatever audience you build now is going to be authentic because like we're just here just doing our thing, being us, like not worrying about putting on a show or a character for whoever is listening.
Yeah.
Because think about how many people get into like they have a niche, and then the second they try to branch out of that, all of a sudden their career just plummet, right? Because they have an inauthentic audience. They have an audience that's here because there's 4 other streamers doing the same thing as that person, and they're watching those streamers on a rotation.
Exactly.
Whereas
100%.
if you're here, right? Whereas if you're here listening to this podcast, like if you are a listener of this, like you're here for bullshit that's gonna change every week, and like just our mismatched, like I don't know, orphan type behavior. Like we're just a mess here. And it's like it's fun. It's a good mess, you know what I'm saying? So people are coming here because they're like, okay, I'm like I don't want to miss it because I'm getting different shit every time I come instead of like, this is so similar to some other you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's what like and you also notice a lot of the bigger content creators out there that they're bankrolled by bigger like companies, so they're also like they have one hand behind their back because they have to get paid. But for us, because I think the main like the popular sentiment internally with us is to be independent. So if we were ever to go and get big, it would be on our terms, which is like a bit of a cliche thing to say, but it's a it's more of what's behind that term. You get the
Yes.
freedom of what you want to do. You get to say to what you want to say, but in a certain degree, you still got to use the internet. But other than
Like,
that, it's just you.
this the thing is like years from now, when we're still doing this at whatever level of success that it is, or whatever the show morphs into, whatever over the years, whoever is listening to this in the future and in the past or whatever can rest assured that like this podcast that we are doing, like us sitting here in front of each other, we're here because we want to be here. Like I want to hang out with you guys. I want to talk shit. I want to come and have this weekly sit down and do whatever the fuck it is that we're doing here, structured or unstructured. Whereas like there's a lot of people who have been doing podcasts for many years and you can tell they're like we just got to sit down and do this week. We got to like follow this. Like, this is how we like make money. And like, this is the routine. And like, if we don't keep to this routine, like we're going to disappoint people. And like, that's their focus. Whereas
Yeah.
for me, I don't know how you guys feel, but when I come here, with all due respect, I'm not thinking about our audience. Like, I'm not thinking about the fact, like, in the nicest way, like, yes, I think about you guys and like, hopefully you're enjoying our content, but I'm not thinking about you guys in a way of like, if I don't perform or meet some certain requirement outline or some sort of structured thing, then I'm not presenting viewable content. Like, I'm coming here because I want to be here. It's a bonus that people are listening to us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yep.
and like to add on podcasting, if you look at, like to the core, it's just a conversation. And when people are like out, like if you remove the podcast thing away from this, but if you are genuine to the people in the conversation and people around you are listening to that conversation, they're going to also join in. So that's how I feel a lot of the bigger like not the bigger one, but a lot of the more in my opinion, the better podcasts are the people are themselves, and they're not doing it because they have to. They're doing it because as I said, they want to do it, and they're genuine about it. And people, when they listen to them, they're like, I can feel myself in that room. Also adding a topic too.
Yeah.
So that's I feel we are doing that. We're getting there. It's a lot better than what it was a few months ago, because now our chat adds that element of that third or fourth or fifth member in the room, and it helps us figure out if we are being genuine or not, because then our chat will also react. So we also have checks and balances now to reel us in, which I wouldn't surprise we have them now.
Yeah, well, it's nice that it's not a pandering place. It's not like we're like, we got to pander to this audience because if we are not inauthentic, they won't like us. Instead, we can just like do our thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. And now it's getting bigger because it's now people are dropping in, and I'm seeing chat of these strangers, and it's not our friends anymore, or Bailey's friends anymore, because my friends suck. They don't watch all that shit. I'll call you out, guys. None of you watch my stuff. It's just now people outside of our circle are joining in and are saying, okay, you guys are cool. And it's like, okay, I think we're hitting something now.
Yes.
So once we hit gold, because we found a pebble. We're just digging away, and then I think we're getting there. We just need a bigger shovel, i.e., we need to figure out what content is actually.
So, segue, sir. You're on your second last batch of questions. What things do we like, or what do you see from this past month that could work in our project that we have done?
So let's talk about something that doesn't work. F1. We're never doing F1.
That's fair. That's fair. My bad.
No,
it's not your fault. How would you know?
It's easy.
We got away with it before, and it was a Portuguese rebroadcaster. It wasn't even F1 itself. It was just some random TV company in Brazil or some shit.
You're probably being flagged for them then.
That's the issue. That's the big conundrum of getting banned for showing it by a different company, because then I can't argue the copyright strike, because they're gonna be like, well, we're just gonna tell F1 that you did this.
But Russ, Big Daddy. No, but we will do F1, but like as a gaming thing, and it'll be like sort of we'll make a series out of it. We'll make a fake season. Why Mom can be Why Mom.
I'm not participating in F1.
Drivers? No, you're gonna be participating. I'm like
you can be the race judge. You could be the race coordinator, whatever the fuck it's called.
Like, Mom, he stabbed me. He stabbed my tires. Fix it. But what was I saying? So I think the cooking streams are great. They're always popping. That's something just watched the first when I can. I watched like the first 10 minutes and I'm out. Yeah, you have my like, or you have the view.
Believe.
You have the view. Fuck you. And then of course my gaming streams. I like doing that. I'm seeing Stone, Panda, and now Afro have been dropping by for 3 consistent ones now. So that's a big dub for me, I guess. But I'm not going to be doing that consistently. It's going to be there will be a schedule, but it won't be like every day. But there
Right.
will be a schedule. Things I liked are what I like. The movie cast, I really like that. The movie cast, I really am enjoying those now. Even though it's kind of permanent now. The Bailey's gaming streams, he does gaming now. That's fun. We can double up on that, and it's just we're also gonna be doing a lot of like back to our journalism stuff too. So expect that to be a little bit more flashed out in the coming future too. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Bailey?
That's something like in terms of the journalism. That's my big question mark. I need to figure out how to include that, but that's for more of off-air debates. But definitely, I want to still do YouTube essays. I want to still figure out how we can use our research skills to the maximum. But from things that we liked and we did is the cooking streams be running it up. I think that was a big victim of my imposter syndrome. Like, I know I know how to cook a lot of stuff, and I can just I have a lot of knowledge on it, and I can talk very freely on it, but I didn't think it would be so welcomed by everyone. I take that for granted in like a humble way, because I'm like, oh yeah, people know how to just like fry up a dish with potatoes and shit, and I'm like, oh no, there's a lot of little facts I can give here that people might not be aware of or weren't taught about. It's like, okay.
The reason why I don't watch your cooking streams is because mom tells me what to do. I don't need you, Bailey. Those instructions. I don't need the second one.
That's hilarious. That's and the things that could work in terms of like the next thing is I really like the homie streams. I like having my friends come over. I like having like multiple people in this space, and that's definitely I want to make sure I coordinate some sort of content with sometimes having Raza here, and then sometimes just the other people. I really like the social aspect of it, and I think that could be really fun for viewers as well.
Yeah.
Right.
It's gonna be interesting because I can already see things sticking around in the future. Like immediately and shit, but that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
Yeah, wine mom. What about you?
So I'm gonna be honest. There was nothing that I disliked.
Oh.
I didn't see anything negative with the thing, because I feel like this was a very important I don't want to say learn, because I don't think I would call it that. But I think it was a very important discovery for you guys, because I feel like it's taken away when streaming, because it's always a common debate about like you should have a schedule of when you stream, and you should always do the same thing on the same day so people know what they're signing up for, right? But this week has been a bunch of this, that, here, there, changing it this day, changing it that day, whatever, which I think is good, because it shows you guys that not everything has to be scheduled perfectly. And I think it's also important that you guys are having discoveries about how you want to be here. So, like Bailey talking about homie streams, I think it's important because the three of us are going to be regular faces. People are going to know who we are. They're going to recognize our voice. They're going to know it's us. And so to have those days where people come in and they're like, oh, fuck, like, I know Bailey. Oh, he's playing video games. So cool. Oh, he's playing video games with, like, his friends, like, other, like, random people. And it gives people an opportunity to, like, still have that person that they subscribe to, that they watch, and then have that variety content of like, oh, there's like other people here that I don't know, which makes it like exciting. But it also gives a lot of playback to like the video on demand and our YouTube channel, which, you know, that's places for us to put other content.
Yeah.
But I think it's also good that it's gotten you guys to the point where it's like, maybe randomly Bailey will be like, you know what? I have a lazy week this week, so I want to stream on Thursday. And Raza's like, I also have a lazy week this week, so I'm going to stream on Tuesday. It like gives you guys the opportunity to like low pressure streams. Cause like now you guys know you can just like sit and play video games for 4 hours, which you guys do that on a regular basis without streaming. So like it gives you the opportunity to be like, okay, this week so I'm going to stream and then play this video game, right? Like it's giving you more comfortability with your platform and made it less of like a structured chore and more of like I'm hanging out with people and like having a good time.
Yeah, that's
doing
what,
things.
that's the thing that I need to get out of my, as as Bailey said earlier, how he's in his own way for certain things. I'm in my own way for that. Whereas like I always looking at, oh, I gotta play Rust tonight. Oh, I'm so tired. Let's do this. I always look at it as like a job. I mean, I keep on telling myself when you start looking at it that way, it means that you've probably made it, and no, we haven't made it, so I shouldn't be looking at it that way. Or B, I'm overthinking it, and I am. So yeah, I just need to stop looking at things in a way that's make it seem like I have a chore to do. Because this whole thing, like, I already have a job that I, don't really enjoy. I mean, I do like doing it, but like I don't like doing it.
It doesn't give you the same.
Yeah. So why should I bring it over to here? So I just need to get that sort of mindset
Right.
to start thinking that, oh, these are fun things to do. This is a wind down thing to do.
Exactly.
Right.
You
Yeah,
gotta
and then
Bailey highlight this, so I can make a fucking short next week. But yeah, sorry.
Well, this is right? And also like to Bailey's point about the imposter syndrome, because that's a big struggle for both of you guys. Like, don't get me wrong, I have imposter syndrome too. I'm just, I ignore it better than you guys maybe.
Okay, I was gonna say, are you aware of it?
Like I'm very aware of it, but I also like I'm like brushing it off more.
Right.
Because if I let it affect me too much, then I literally would not even be here at all. So I have to ignore it because I'm bad with it too. But
right on.
You guys, your imposter syndrome, like it's prevalent, right? And I see it when it's like, because I have been begging Bailey for a long time to do cooking content. A long time I've been asking him, guys, like, why don't you do cooking content on TikTok? I've been asking him to do that. So for him to like on his own say, I'm going to do cooking content for Marching into Madness was such a big deal. It was such a big deal for me anyways to see him do it, because it's something that like I've watched him cook in front of me hundreds of times over the years that I've known him, and it's always a fun experience. Like I really enjoy watching Bailey cook. Like it's been some of my favorite memories of our friendship. So for him to do it, I was really proud of him to like step out of himself and do that.
Yeah.
And that's why this month was so important, because it forced Bailey to like do something that he wouldn't otherwise feel comfortable doing. And now Bailey, tell me, are you comfortable doing cooking streams?
Yes.
No.
Exactly.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, because the thing is like, now you found your confidence. And when I watched you make the potato pancakes, like I was watching stream, I was there for a little bit. It's hard for me to stay for I get overstimulated, but, because the chat and everything, it gets to be, but anyways, I was there for quite a while, and like Bailey was cooking and communicating and doing chat and like all that kind of stuff, and like he looked comfortable. Like at first I felt guilty because I was supposed to be there. I was like, oh fuck, he's gonna be like uncomfortable and like stressed because he's by himself, and I said I was gonna be there, but then he didn't need me. I would have been so pointless there. I would have been just there for eating. Like Bailey was perfectly fine just to do that on his own. Like it was like he found his little like comfort Like, put his big
Yeah,
boy pants on.
I did notice when you did it with Chatter and what's his face, Dev or Dave or whatever, but
Yeah.
you did it with them, and it was like, okay, he's he's out of his mold. It took him one cooking stream with his
Uh-huh.
mom to break that sort of
With his mom.
and now he's out here doing it every Sunday, like he's like a chef Gordon Ramsay, which is it's fun. And then when you did the solo thing, yeah, didn't you? I assume you felt more natural.
I
about
did.
that.
It's
Yeah.
true. It was like the culmination of the whole month combined with like those lessons of like, okay, yeah, I'm cozy, so I'll just fucking babble about the process. I was really seeing it as like when I used to work in restaurants, I just imagined I was talking to one of my trainees. I was like, okay, what's all
Yeah.
the talking points? If I was walking through this and I had to train someone, what's everything I would be bringing up as I was doing it?
Right. Yeah. That's how like the structure of food or cooking shows are. That's
Exactly.
you're just doing it that way. So which is if it works, it works. And it I do feel like that's another little tack we can put
Yeah, like
on
I
the
agree.
wall.
I
Yeah.
do
that's the
agree.
importance. And
Yeah.
same for you too, Raza. Like, it's nice to get out there and do a stream on your own, because I was worried that you were not going to be enough to do it on your own. So the fact that you were able to like post up and just do it and play video games and just chill, like it's important for you guys to be able to do that.
Yeah, I just spent a couple of days researching what times to do it all. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do this long term. I'm just gonna fucking because it's like it's just long term ones. These plans, I know mine are not consistent long term ones. I feel like I can do them, but I'm not 18 anymore. I can't.
No, but it's not even about
I
that, right?
yeah, but like,
It's about like picking up and doing something and just being like, fuck it, I want to do this, and just doing it and not worrying about
yeah,
like the ultimate comfort level. Or because the thing
yeah,
is, like, it's like, it
yeah,
sounds so cliche and stupid, but it's like, time is not waiting for you, so why are you waiting for the right time?
right,
Like,
right.
that's ultimately what it comes down to with like 90% like in life, right? You spend all this
Mhm.
time thinking like, right moment, the right time, the right set of circumstances, and it's like nothing is waiting for you. Nothing is waiting for you.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
not an audience of 1,000 people waiting for us. Like,
Yeah.
they're going, they're moving, they're checking, learning new things. Like, they're like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off. Like, they're not waiting or looking for us, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Just like,
what are you waiting for? Just
and
go.
also the VTubing too was a good step as well.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I keep on we need to go back to because like it did add I was looking at our like at the top rated or top viewed shorts and top like engaged shorts,
Mhm.
and all of them have to do with Wine Mom's uh
VTube.
anime
Yeah.
character.
Well, it does. I will say that that's a good thing, because as apprehensive as I am about that, because you guys know, like, being a woman on the internet for me is a very, like, I may not show it, but I'm very insecure about
Yeah.
being a female on the internet, which is why I don't show my face, because I don't want, even all the negative things, I don't want the positive things that come with being a woman on the internet. I just want to just exist in this space with you guys as a valid person with opinions, because nobody's looking at me, right? So the
Yeah.
VTube thing has always been something I've been insecure about, because I don't want it to bring a sexual aspect to the podcast, because it will. Like, that's going to happen because it's a female character, and
Well,
that's
first
the
of all,
reality.
my mom, I gotta kill you right here, but I bring the sex appeal. So
Yeah.
so
Okay,
so,
okay.
I
so
agree with
that
that.
No,
so
I,
that
but
ship
I,
has sailed.
a lot of
right,
people
but
come
no,
here
but
for the
but
tiny peen.
genuinely, yeah, okay. But genuinely though, in the beginning I was apprehensive about it, because I didn't want it to be like a sexual aspect. Like, I didn't want it to be like, oh, it's a female, it's a character. You know what I mean? I didn't want that. But
Yeah,
after doing it, I do see the value of, like, it gives some sort of depth to my character, even
yeah,
though I've told you guys I'm not playing a character, but it gives
yeah,
depth gives depth to me, right? Because right now I'm a glowing bubble, and you guys have like a whole room with your personalities and stuff like that. So I'm really like, I'm just hoping that my personality carries through how I talk. So having that character does add that layer of depth, which I think is valuable, even if I low key fight it on my own. But
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah,
yeah.
and then like and it's weird. Even I was telling Bailey several times, like when you're here, the podcast seems to carry on pretty. The flow is there, right? So the anime, I was apprehensive. I was like, "This is cringe."
Yeah,
I kept
that's the
telling him,
thing,
I'm
yeah.
like, just edit it when she talks, edit it. He's like, I'll make it work. I'll make it work. I'm like, no, just put her on.
Yeah.
I did make it work though, but then, well, what I'm noticing was like, okay, it enhances
Yeah.
the dynamic, like because it's weird because I don't see. First of all, our gaming streams having two perspectives. I don't see anybody doing that. Second thing, having two or three people on camera plus a VTuber isn't done at all. Usually, it's everybody's the same. And
I know one
feel
show. I know one show that does it, and that's it.
Okay, well, in that case, even there, it's just one show. So I'm noticing on accident, we are tapping into like these untapped like outlets that like these communities that barely anybody talking to them, and those ones are getting big for us. So
Yeah.
it just I feel like that whole VTubing angle. Now that I've seen it in our thing, now that I have, because in my head it's like, this is gonna dumb as fuck. I've seen VTuber, it looks good, but I don't know how much we can do with our
Yeah.
rinky-dink setup. But it turned out to be pretty well. So we just need more resources, and it just can get break that glass ceiling that Hillary Clinton couldn't.
One second. Keep.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll answer it. No, fair. I missed a grandma call.
Yeah.
But no, I feel you. I missed a grandma call. No, I definitely, I feel you. I appreciate the sentiments there.
And the inclusion
and
of Panda. Panda is another big thing. Bringing him on.
Oh, yeah. That meat whistle.
Meat whistle? I'm gonna write that down.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, because that having Panda come in, it's definitely fun. I think it's also like it's I think the coolest part about that is like we're giving somebody else an opportunity to branch out creatively in a way that they wouldn't do on their own. So it's nice that we're at a point with our platform where we're like, hey, like let's bring somebody else on and give them the opportunity to showcase themselves, right? Which is fun.
Mm-hmm. Like if Panda wants to stream using our stuff, and he can't go nuts, right? I assume
exactly.
See, because my like Wine Mom, and my main thing for like educating the peoples is like I want to associate with driven people. So
yeah, of course.
He's got his own characteristics, and I know we all have our own relationships with the human, but I appreciate bringing on someone on board who's willing to understand the vision and contribute their own 2 cents to it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree.
Like him? I don't know what you're getting at.
No, he likes. No, he's talking to me kind of out of character. No, but
okay.
I like no, I get what you're saying. No. No, it's true. Because the thing is like it's fun to have people come on here, but when you include people in something like this, because I don't know. I'd say that, like, when I say I'm the problem, like, genuinely, I'm the problem. Like, I know that I'm a brat about a lot of stuff that goes on around here. But it's also because, I know. But I say it because I have a very specific belief in you guys. And I'm always worried about, I don't want somebody coming in here feeling ownership to what you guys have created and then trying to take charge or take control or try to be a main character of something where they don't have the place to do so. So that's the thing with Panda that works really well, is like he respects what's going on here. He's been a supporter. He's been a friend of mine for many, many years, like been a very close friend of mine for a long time. So bringing him in here is a level of comfort for myself. I feel like he also has personality traits and the ability to like pull things out of you guys that I can't pull out, which is why I think he adds value, right? Because it's the second you start doing something on the internet, regardless of how successful it may be or not, friends are always going to be like, oh man, like put me on your show, like I'm going to make your podcast so poppin'. And it's like, no, you're not. You're going to come on here with shitty opinions and you're going to bother me, but I'm going to do it because I'm a friend and I feel obligated. But whereas in this instance, like the thing is like, because we're doing a movie related thing, like Cody is a perfect person to bring on for that, because that's somebody who is passionate about that topic, has an extreme amount of knowledge, and isn't a spotlight stealer. He's here to like be a part of the team. He wants to enjoy the process. Like that's why it's so valuable to have him for that show. And it's been very good. So I agree, like, because that's another part of this month is like you guys have been doing the movie club for the month, but it's like it's also giving Cody time to come on other aspects of the show, right? Because now he's developing his connectivity to us, which I think is important, right? You have a streaming platform, and I think what a lot of people do is like they think solo is the best way to go. So many people are like, if I want to be successful on the internet, I have to do it alone, and I have to do everything by myself, and I have to be the front man, and I have to be the most successful. And it's like that doesn't always work out well. The fact that there's 3 of us and we're able to add other people in and have, you know, comfortability and create some sort of success, it makes it just more cohesive, because we're not fighting for spotlights. Like we're just working together. Like there's days when like we're giving each other breaks and everybody can work together and it works nice, you know? And especially having this platform, like with there's a whole week of days. Who cares if it's like you don't have to stream every day? It could be somebody else from the group.
Yeah, and that's what I think we're building towards. Where Bailey and I are the co-founders, I guess, of Marching into Madness. Can just go off and do our own thing, and then y'all can just do like you like develop your own thing. But I'll
And create
like
a network.
yeah, essentially. But like what I think it just it just blends well that we have conveniently aligned ourselves with people who have the same um like niches as us and have the same preferences as us, where it's the stuff is more genuine, the conversations are more organic, everything just flows well to each other. With you, Wine Mom podcasts are great. Other stuff with the movie cast, Panda is great. With the gaming stuff, Afro is great and whatnot. So there's a bunch of people there that can work with our thing and just make our content like 2
It
times
gives
better.
it is what I'm saying. Like there's so much more depth here because there's so many different personalities. So you're appealing to a bigger grade of people.
Yeah.
Right? You're not just hoping, like if it was me by myself, like I would just be hoping that either a bunch of guys would simp over me and want to follow me, and that I would also find women who are into the shit as. Whereas here, like that's not even an aspect of this. Here it's like I'm hanging out with my friends, we're all having a good time. We all have a different appeal to different people, and that's going to bring in a variety of people to watch the content, listen to content, which I think is important. And I also really like the idea of a network, because it's like we are marching into madness, but then we have our subsidiaries of these different podcasts, which I think,
Subsidiaries of business
yes,
now.
that's what I'm saying. But no, it's nice to have that like network aspect to this, because I feel like that's the most successful way to be on the internet, is you have a main thing that is a branch for all other types of creativity to coexist and work together.
Right.
And it's like it's not like I'm like, oh, we're big business mogul, check us out, you know what I mean? like owners of some media company. But it's like,
Yeah.
you know, we have the potential to like have one umbrella with a bunch of different underneath it, like cohesively working together.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's its own like little machine, and yeah, and that's
Exactly.
why, yeah, that's why, like, I think we aren't just a YouTube channel, and we aren't a gaming thing. We are. I don't. We're just a brand, and we're just our media brand, and using as much.
Yeah,
Exactly.
well, see, like that's what I think we have to nail down after this month is over, because it's like I feel like it was much more intentional, at least on my end. I was trying to make sure I only brought people into the fold that were prepared to operate in a way that was cohesive to creating in a free and open space, as well as being able to stand up for yourself and your own vision. And as we move forward, like that, I think that's something that's important to summarize, right? Is it a network? Is it a collective? Is it like, I don't think it's necessarily like we need to figure out our branding, so we need to tell people who we are. But like vision wise, like, yeah, is it like, are we trying to?
I just tell people
Is it a
we
Wu
do
Tang
a
Clan ass shit,
variety.
and we got a bajillion clan members, or do we have
No,
like,
but
is it
Clan
Phase
members.
Clan, and we've got a
no,
bunch of
but
people
I
we,
think,
you know what I mean?
well, in a weird way, I think it's almost like, I guess this is the most relatable way to say it for people to understand. It's kind of like a content house in a weird way. All right? Marching
Yeah.
into Madness like is the house, and then each aspect of like the Antique Roadshow, the cooking stuff, the movie podcast, the Friday video games, those are content creators in the house. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and that's the best part about this. Like, if we're talking like, if somebody's asking for advice, right? As somebody who watched a lot of content over the years and has been a part of different content creating things, it's like you build one main aspect of like, if you look up this name, you will find all the other things that go with it. So it's like,
Mhm.
if you look up Marching into Madness, you're gonna find our 4 other projects within that umbrella. But it
Yeah.
also gives us the opportunity to be like, you know what? This one aspect of under the umbrella, it's not working. I don't want it anymore. Let's get rid of it. And then guess what? We get rid of it, and guess we didn't lose the whole project. We lost
Mhm.
an aspect of something that was no longer, or no longer
Needed.
bringing us joy or working with our vision. We didn't lose
Yeah.
the whole project. We lost one
Mhm.
thing that we can replace. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's why, like, like like the way we're doing it is a little harder since we're not doing one sort of thing, but that's
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, yeah, it's going to create a safety net for us in case one thing doesn't work. We have a few other things already cooking too. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think once we make each arm of this thing self-reliant, then it should be evident of what is
Yeah.
truly working and
Well,
Mm-hmm.
what isn't.
it gives us like ultimate creative freedom
Yeah,
is really what it is, right?
yeah,
Because it's like we have the option to pick up whatever other thing we want to try. Like
yeah,
there's still room in this for us to like do other things, which is great.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
It's
that's
like, yeah,
important, especially with
that's what.
internet creating, because you can get bored, and that's where things get fucked.
Yeah, and that's why I
Yeah,
was
it's
saying
true.
earlier, it's
Mm-hmm.
better than being a Smosh and being owned by, who are they owned by now? But they're owned by somebody, and they
Yeah.
have to like they have to listen to their own thing. Whereas, yeah, if we stay,
Yeah.
independent, we can be, we can still cater to our audience, but then also have like people ask us to make stuff for them, like on a contract base,
Yeah.
rather than them
Mm-hmm.
owning us. You know what I mean? Then we
Exactly.
can still
Exactly.
be more, have that creative input where like they're just paying us based on what we do, not based on how
Yeah.
we
Exactly.
do it.
Well, it's like the thing is, if someone was to ever approach us in the future and be like, "We love what you do. We want to like work with you for whatever thing." We have such a structure of like, I shouldn't say structure, but we have like like we know what we are and who we are
Mhm.
and like how we work and what we work and like what works for us, and like we have the confidence to be like, sure, great, we'll work with you, but we're not doing this or we're not doing that. Like this is what we know works for our community or us or how we want to be creative, right? That's what's important. You should just even
Yeah.
think about like when we first started doing the podcast, when I first came on, we had so many segments that we were like testing out and trying and doing different things. And I think that's so important, is that we can come on here and like add different segments all the time. Like there's always room for us to add new things or try new things, which is
Yeah.
great.
And this
I agree.
month was a testament of that too. It was,
Yeah.
not everything was working, so we're like, okay, let's swap it out. Let's do something. Something else. So, yeah, it's just I was having not doubts, but I was like sort of like thinking more critically towards it. It was like, is this gonna be something that's gonna work? What's happening right now? But
That's what I'm saying. I knew when Bailey said I want to stream every day for March. When he said that, I saw Raza go, "Oh fuck, this is gonna be the end. This is it. This is the end of the show. It's done. It's over.
Yeah.
It'll never be the same." Like I could tell Raza was scared, but for me, I
Yeah.
was like,
scared
even if
and
it
like
failed,
just worried about the
nervous.
little
Yeah,
logistics of on
My
Exactly.
career is just nudging Raza towards the cliff. This is how I
That's
find
what
my
I'm
success.
but the second Bailey said he was gonna do it, I could see that Raza was like, somebody please take me out back, help me, like full yeller me, like I can't do this, like
I don't want
no.
to. There's no way in hell I'm going to be doing this every day for
No.
31
But
days. No way.
but for me, I was so excited because I knew that even if it failed, or even if it was going to be 50% successful, I was like, this is so good because I know it's going to challenge you guys and push you guys to like just try shit. And like, because the podcast isn't at a place where it's like we have a huge audience relying on a structure. We don't have that right now. We have the ability to just like explore and have fun and fuck around and like be live streaming. Because that's like when I first got on the podcast, like one of the first things I said to you guys is we need to live stream. I don't care
That's
how we
true.
do it, where we do it. I was like, live streaming, whether it's
Yeah.
YouTube or Twitch. I mean, I believe Twitch is the best place to do it, but either way, I was like, we need to live stream because it brings another aspect to the show that you didn't otherwise have, which is so weird because this is a podcast and we live stream, which I know a lot of people live stream their podcasts, but for us, it like brings a different aspect to the podcast that I felt was like so important. And I knew that by telling you guys to stream, I knew when the first time I brought it up, I was like, this will be Bailey's favorite thing. Like, I know he'll love live streaming once he starts doing it because it opens up the opportunity to do so many other creative things because you don't have to just do the same thing. Like, you literally have 365 days of the year where you can experiment on those other days and do other things. So when he said this month, I was like, perfect, because he's gonna do all these things he's been thinking about,
Exactly.
which is good.
And it
Exactly.
just it just makes it just gives more influences to the surrounding party about like what is going to be important for not just Bailey but for Marching the Madness as a whole entity.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I think we've summarized that well. I think that's a good little pin. It's a good little pin. We got an hour and a half at least of us talking about how fucking good we are. Because we're fucking good, right? We're good,
Not
right?
echo chambery at all.
We're going to the D-League, kids.
This room.
The way he's moving his shit is making me on edge because I'm gonna fall over.
Oh, his whole desk. I know.
I'm shaking.
Okay, I'll stop being so aggressive. So, on those notes, I appreciate both of you. You guys are both big inspirations in my life. Raza, even though my back is tired from the shoves that I've been giving, I do see how much you've grown, and I appreciate
Shoves?
your
What type of shoves?
the shoves towards the cliff edge.
Oh,
I appreciate the
couple other
patience you've
shows.
had for my journeys across the way. I know I've been an impatient human. And Wine Mom, I know you've had a tumultuous journey, but I appreciate your tenacity and your true support for being yourself. So,
Right here.
now that I've kissed both your asses, do you have any? What's your final message to the people? We did a big self-absorbed episode. What's the so we reflected on us, our creative process, where we want to go. Is there one thing you want to be like, this is what I want people to hear?
Once you achieve to our level of greatness,
Oh
no
my
one can
God.
tell you otherwise.
No, be authentic, and like ultimately, seriously, like the biggest takeaway I think is to realize genuinely, like I said, time is not waiting for you. So what are you waiting for? Just do it. If you want to experiment, if you want to make mistakes, make mistakes. Honestly, the world and just the way that the internet is set up is that we should be perfect and we should never make mistakes. Fuck up, man. Just fuck up. But
Yeah,
at least
just
do
break
something.
shit. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. If
like
you
I'm
fuck
just
up, who cares? But at least you can look back and say, I tried though. Because,
yeah.
Oh, I
I
agree.
heard this quote, earlier this week where this girl said, I'm not afraid to be seen trying. Like, that is so beautiful because it's like so often we're afraid to be seen trying because what if we
Mhm.
fail?
Oh yeah.
But she's like, I'm not
Yeah,
afraid to be seen trying because she's not afraid if she fails because at least
yeah,
she tried. Because you can't say you tried. So try.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
it's ultimately I think I just booted up my old laptop last night and I found some old clips of us. And we have
Mhm.
definitely grown. So I think there's you just trust the process and you can see growth in any
Mhm.
time frame. Like for example, I've seen us grow. I've seen us coming off of my shaky laptop and Bailey in his very dim, old, dim lit studio. We
Yeah.
have done it. We're night and day now. So as long as you trust the process and just stay true to what you want, and understand you're going to have to make some compromises because getting to the
Mhm.
point, because we're not at the end game yet, but getting to the point of that end game, there's going to be shit that you got to have to do, and compromises is what matters the most. But that's what I'm taking out of it, and I think that's one of the most important things out there is that just don't let the numbers bring you down. Keep on going, and things will happen. You just got to be patient about the process.
Mhm.
And patient about the process. A lot of people think it's a quick flip.
Yeah.
But on a similar note, it ties into your stuff is I used to communicate it, and it's what this whole conversation was about, of finding our voice and finding your relationship with what you make. That was a big thing that I used to always communicate to people as a communications professional. Whether you want to sell your art, whether you want to be a rapper, whether you want to be a public speaker, you want to be an event MC, you want to be a wedding consultant, you have to figure out the relationship you're developing with the community you want to follow you.
Mhm.
And I think that's an often underlooked thing when you're trying to approach social media from either a business or creative aspect. And my big message is as you're evaluating what you want your social media presence to be, you have to understand the relationship you want to have with the people you're talking to.
Yeah.
Very true. Woke boy. Very
So,
true.
with that, you can find us on TikTok at Marching Into Madness, on Instagram at Marching Into Madness, on YouTube at Marching Into Madness. We've got a Clips channel, which is Marching Into Madness Shorts. We're on the Twitch at Marching Into Madness. We're on Facebook, but we don't use it. and we are nowhere else. Oh, Spotify. We're on Spotify and all other
Spotify.
podcast platforms.
Yeah.
You can find us at Marching into
We're
Madness
on
because no one else
Last.fm.
has that name.
We're on Tagged. We're on Tumblr. We're on MySpace. Hit us up there.
You can find us wherever Dilbert spends his time on the internet.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Just look up literally go to Google.
Sonic Chan.
Just Google Marching into Madness. You're gonna find us. And that's the beauty of being under an umbrella.
It won't be a basketball thing.
No, thank God.
You might find him somewhere in there, but it will be we're at the top. We beat out the basketball stuff, and it's obvious the difference. So.
Oh,
All right, thank you guys. I'm stopping the recording. All right, bye.